everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. If you're new to my channel, I am so glad you found me. Those new viewers, I'm going to ask you to click the like and subscribe button so I can continue to bring some of my garden adventures to the rest of you. I happen to be just a typical home gardener. I garden in the state of Missouri in a zone 6, and I've been taking you all along this year on some of my garden adventures. And today is Black Friday, so I thought, what better time for me to share my gardener's gift guide with you all. I'm going to share with you all today some of my absolutely favorite gardening tools, gardening supplies, things that I use on the regular, some of my absolute favorite things that really do work great for me. And then I'll probably end our time together today with sharing with the rest of you sort of what's on my mind, what's on my wish list. I have a few things that I've been hinting to Santa that I would like to add to my gardening experience. I chose to come into the greenhouse this morning because it is way warmer in here than outside. We have finished Thanksgiving. We are welcoming winter, and it got down into the low 20s last night. I think the high today is going to be somewhere around 35. Right now, it's about 29 degrees outside. But believe it or not, in my greenhouse, it is 69 degrees. Those of you that have followed my channel know that we do heat our greenhouse because, as you saw in the opening video, I grow all kinds of plants, flowers, tropicals, all kinds of things, herbs, all throughout the winter. And if you're going to do that where I live, you must heat your greenhouse. And I have a couple of little heaters set on 50 degrees. They're on thermostats. So when it gets 50 degrees in here or below, they kick on and keep it nice and warm. But when we've got a bluebird sunny day like we do today, that radiant heat from the sun combined with having the heaters on last night, it's so lovely and comfortable in here. I cannot wait until tomorrow. I wish I could film tomorrow, but I don't have time. But tomorrow we're supposed to get snow. And nothing gives me more joy and serenity than to come out here in my greenhouse on a snowy day with a hot cup of coffee, sitting in my chair there and looking at all these beautiful flowers and tinkering around in the greenhouse with some nice music. Oh, great day. A great way to spend a winter day. But enough about that. Let's get into my gift guide for gardeners. Well, originally I had thought I would try to limit my list of suggestions to 10 items, and I'm probably going to go over that by just a little bit because, oh my goodness, there are so many things that I have been using in my gardening over the years and recently that have been game changers. So let's get to it. I thought I'd back the camera up so you could see some of the things, and I'll try to bring some of the items in closer for you. So I would have to say, absolutely top on my list is this potting tray. This is phenomenal. Do you see how it is designed? It is super sturdy. It is used for so many things. Number one, I will use it when I am potting up anything. It contains all the dirt. You know, my pot's here. I can have potting soil on here, scoop it in, dump it out. And the nice thing about this tray with these high sides is that I can then take the excess soil that I didn't use and pour it back into one of my bins. You know, I happen to like, especially when I'm working in the greenhouse, I put all of my different kinds of mixes, soils, etc. in bins rather than pouring from the bags. I guess I'm just not that coordinated to have a big, huge, you know, bag of potting soil. I have my big scoops, and I prefer to do my potting up like that. The other amazing use of this, especially in here in the greenhouse, is I use it for when I start my seeds and fill my seed trays. I mean, a seed tray fits, tons of soil fits. It just keeps everything contained. So simple. So potting tray, absolutely game changer for containing the mess and not wasting that precious soil. You cannot garden without some really high quality pruners. And I have invested in two different sizes. And so I'll talk to you a little bit about these. These are Felcos. They are a very, very well respected, super sturdy, well made company that sells these. I have small hands. So, what I love about the Felco brand is that you can purchase them based on size. And I think they might even have some pruners that are for lefties. I don't happen to be a lefty, but these are the Felco 6 pruners. I will link everything I'm showing you today in the description below in case you're interested. But these are the pruners I use for bigger things, you know, thicker branches and stems. These are really a workhorse and they fit my small hands beautifully. So these are the Felco 6, but I actually find that I use these little ones just about as much. These are the Felco 310s. These are, I call them my little nippers. I grow loads of cut flowers and lots of herbs, and their stems are usually rather narrow. And these are also great for deadheading flowers and stuff. So I use these little nips or snips a ton. So this is all I need. I mean, I do have some big loppers for, you know, maybe some trees or shrubs, but I use these almost every day in the garden. The other beauty about the Felco brand, while they're a bit of an investment, they will last you a lifetime. And in fact, you can buy all kinds of cleaning fluid, a sharpening blade, and you can swap out parts. You can actually replace blades through the company rather than buying the whole mechanism again. They are really grungy and kind of icky after a big gardening season. So, you know, in winter, that's the time where I'm going to sit down and get out my Felco cleaning products and take these apart and clean them up and sharpen them up so that they're going to be ready for spring. So really, if you've got a gardener in your life or you're just a gardener, I can't encourage you enough. Invest in really high quality pruners and you'll never have to buy a new set again. So Felcos are amazing. This is somewhat new to me. Most of you will know what this is. This is a Hori knife, a garden knife. I purchased this 2 years ago. I had never used a Hori knife before, but I kept seeing and reading about gardeners loving this. It's such a great multi-tool. And so again, it was worth the investment. This is a Hossoff brand. Again, I'll put the link in the description below. This is, I mean, I carry it with me constantly. This is phenomenal at digging. It can dig through anything. And I have awful, nasty, Midwestern, thick clay soil. I also sometimes garden around where there are other kinds of roots and things in the ground. I tell you what, this is my main digging tool. It is so easy. It's so amazing too. It's got a serrated side and a sharp, smooth side for cutting. I cut open my soil bags with this. I can cut through roots. When I'm dividing perennials, oh my gosh, not like butter, but it really cuts through like butter. So Hori style garden knife. I couldn't encourage you more to consider this for yourself or a gardener in your life. Those of you who have been following my channel know that 2024, my goal was to grow 80% of my flowers, herbs, and veggies from seed, and I achieved that goal. So really, it was so exciting this year. I went like full force into seed starting, and really, it was the first year that I'd done much of that. So I wanted to share with you some things related to seed starting, some products that I use that really proved to be super successful for me as a seed starter. Let me show you the trays I like to use. So I use what's called the Grow Ease system. I get these from Gardener Supply. And basically what you get is, of course, you get the basin, you get the bottom, you get this little tray stand, and you get, of course, this is a 24 cell. You get these cell trays, and then you get this wicking mat. These have been really amazing to keep the soil moisture consistent. And so what you do is you fill the bottom with water. You put your tray on there, your little stand. You put your wicking mount. This soaks up the water from below, runs it across, and keeps this nice and moist. And then if you look at the bottom of your seed cells trays, you see those holes? That draws up moisture slowly so that you don't swamp out your seeds. They don't get too wet, but they stay wet enough. And then, of course, the dome, when you're starting seeds, it comes with that. So the whole system comes with all of those parts. They also have 12 cells. I have a number of 12 cell trays. That works for me, but there are really great seed starting kits on the market from all kinds of manufacturers. But I just wanted to share with you what's worked really well for me. In addition to the trays that I like to use, I bought these tongs, and wow, do they work well for me. Sometimes when you're growing things from seed and you've got your little plant, sometimes it's hard to get them out of the trays when you're ready to either pot them up into a bigger pot or actually put them straight into your garden. And so these little special tongs just reach right in. They're perfectly sized. I got them from Gardener Supply. They're perfectly sized for these cells. Gently push them in and you just squeeze a little bit and you can pull out the entire little seedling by using these tongs. So they have been really a game changer. So I have a few more things for my gift guide for gardeners this year that I'd like to share with you. Here are Tubtrugs. They are absolutely a workhorse in my greenhouse and outside in my garden. They're super lightweight, super flexible. They come in adorable colors, lots and lots of colors to choose from, and sizes. In fact, this is one of the big ones. And I've got a littler one right here. I think you can probably see the difference in the sizes. How do I use these? Well, if you look in the bottom of this right now, it looks wet and gross because actually when they're in the greenhouse, I have them slid underneath this raised bed because I water these year round, and they're porous and water drips through, and actually this collects some of the water. And when it does, I just return it to my raised beds like that. But there are many other great uses outside of the greenhouse for those. A lot of times carrying soil in them, carrying garden supplies in them. When I'm out pruning or deadheading, it's a great place to drop all of that refuse. If it's on a really big job where I don't need my pop-up refuse container. I just use it all the time. It's great for mixing soil, putting amendments in soil. If you're going to be doing a big potting project, you can really get in there. Sometimes I'll even fill these with water for inside my greenhouse, and then I'll take one of my big watering cans and I can dip the whole can in here and fill it super fast to water things. So I mean, the use of these Tubtrugs is really the sky's the limit. It's endless. So these are so much fun to look at, but really sturdy, super strong, lightweight. And when you are a gardener like I am, who is not a spring chicken, you really start to think about how can I work smarter, not harder. And so weight and flexibility and things like that is really important in terms of the tools that I'm choosing at this point in my gardening. So one thing that is essential for all gardeners is you have to protect your skin. You definitely need to be wearing sunscreen when you're out in the garden, whether you are gardening in winter, fall, it doesn't matter, summer, you need to protect your skin. And I came across these hats years ago. This is called a sunshade hat. And again, they come in lots of colors, and I've got them. I've got two of these, one in like a coral color and one in this pretty blue. Really provides great protection from the sun. What I really love about these is they're super lightweight. They have this mesh backing. So we get super duper duper hot and humid, and I get hot in the garden. I'm just warm natured to begin with. So I need a hat that's super breathable, will provide me that sunscreen, but as you can see, I'm a woman with long hair, and I can't have my hair down when I'm gardening. It gets in the way. way too hot where I live to garden with your long hair down. You know, there's a very famous YouTube gardener that has a very long hair. I've never seen her in any of her videos have it in a ponytail, but she also gardens in the high desert where there's no humidity. So it gets very hot where she lives, but it's a completely different type of hot. This girl has to have a pony in summer when I am working out in the garden. And the beauty of this design, this must have been designed by a woman because look at the ponytail holder, the whole opening. So it's fantastic. I can have my hair in a ponytail, pop that ponytail out the back. Sunshade garden hats. I don't know any gardener that would not like somebody to give them a subscription to a really high quality gardening magazine. And I've got three favorites I want to share with you. This is Garden Gate magazine, one of my favorites for not only beautiful inspiration and pictures, but lots of great information. The other one, I don't have them out here today, Horticulture magazine. Wow. It really, if you want to really go deep in your knowledge of plants and how to care for plants, Horticulture magazine is really, really excellent. And then Fine Gardening magazine. Those would be the three that I would have you consider giving as a gift subscription to somebody that you know that likes gardening. And I think last but not least, on things that I really use a lot and value, and they are worth the money. And the last thing I'd like to share is my harvest basket. Gardener Supply Company, which I mentioned before. That's where this one came from. What I love about this is, number one, my son gifted it to me. So that makes it even more special. But they come in different sizes. But what's great is, first of all, they're built really well, wood, but they're built with this metal mesh that allows me to harvest my vegetables right out in my raised bed garden, take it over to the hose and turn on the spray nozzle, and I can clean my veggies outside, spray them down, give them a really good hard spray, and all of the wet dirt and water, you know, drips right out and into the house they go. So anyhow, if you want to spoil somebody in your life, I would recommend a really high quality garden basket like this one. So thanks for letting me share with you all a list of some of the items that I like, garden tools that I use on a very regular basis that have really made gardening more fun, more enjoyable, less effort, working smarter, not harder. And I would love to learn from you all. What are your favorite gardening tools? What are your favorite gardening products that you want to recommend? And that way, take a look at those comments, and I can't wait to see your comments. And you know, I might have to be online a little bit later today making some orders, but wanted to finish today by sharing with you all my wish list, some things that I am hoping for. And I've already sent a few text messages to Santa, so let's see if he hears what it was that I'm dreaming about for my holiday gift list. First of all, I want some new garden clogs. I've got these. I've used them for many years, but I am ready for some new ones. So I'm hoping for some new garden clogs. I mean, you can't have too many shoes, right? I am looking for a garden caddy. So I want not a big one, but a relatively small tote with open pockets in places so that I can put my Felcos and my Hori and seed packets and my markers and my seed tags and all of that as I move around the property. You know, those of you that have been with my channel know that I happen to live on 10 acres. And so I have different gardening areas all over the property. And for me, the way I like to garden is I usually tackle an area of the garden at the same time. So for me, having a tote with everything in it in that one space would really work well. So I'm hoping maybe I'll get a nice garden tote to carry all of my supplies with me. Those are some things I'm wishing for. I want to wish you all a wonderful holiday season with your family, in your garden. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I sure did enjoy sharing with you some of the things that make gardening even more of a pleasure than it already is. And so until next time, happy gardening, everybody.